Hey, what's up guys? So this is kind of a super specific set of tools, but I kind of created it because of feedback that I got, right? So what I've done is I've created a set of LUTs or lookup tables that do some very specific utility things that some people have asked me about, and they said, hey, how do I make these kind of functions on my own? How can I do these helper layers on my own? Things of that nature. And I can explain it to people, no problem. But sometimes it's a little bit convoluted. Sometimes it's hard to remember all the steps because there's a layer stack, you know, that's required for some of them. And then the blend modes and it can be complicated. So I thought, why not take the sort of utility and helper visualization layers that I sometimes create and put them into LUTs, at least the ones that can be made into LUTs. And so I have. I'm going to review those. But real quick, as a counter example, let's say, because we have this on some of our other action sets, let's say you want to make a hue map. Right? So you think, oh, I'm going to make a hue map. Well, there's a couple of different ways, but let's say I go to my black and white adjustment layer, put it on maximum white, put it on difference, duplicate that, put it on divide, come back here and add an invert. Cool. There's a hue map. That's awesome. You can do that. It's relatively quick, but as you can see, it also takes up 3 layers and you know, you have to remember those steps, never mind all the other steps. And if you want that and then another one and another one, you need multiple stacks of potentially multiple layers. So I thought, why not build all of this into some lookup tables? And that is what I've done. So if I go to my color lookup adjustment layer, I already have these embedded into Photoshop. As you can see, there they all are. These are all utility. Now I'll tell you right now, if you're not familiar with any of this stuff and you don't have any interest in it, then who knows what kind of cool creative things you can come up with. But this is mostly for visualization or creating raster layers of specific things you may need. For example, I mentioned hue map earlier. There it is right there. You tap on that, you get a nice clear hue map, right? Now you can leave that running, if you will, on your adjustment layers right there for whatever you may need. Now what's cool is, of course, that it's active, meaning that anything that happens underneath it, so if I create a blank layer underneath there, let's just choose a color like red, and anything that happens underneath it will also be mapped actively, right? Because it's a hue map and it's constantly working. It's not a raster layer. But if you wanted a raster layer, of course, you can just kind of click on the top layer there and stamp to a new layer. Shift Option Command E or Shift Alt Control E, and there you go. And then you can either turn off your color lookup table adjustment layer, and there you have it, because there are different reasons why you might want a raster layer of a hue map. All sorts of different reasons that you potentially could want that. And a lot of my actions actually do that, right? So let's see, we have hue map. We don't need the layer underneath at the moment. We have hue map as an option. We also have the luminosity. This is pure luminosity in case you need it. Inversely, we also have pure brightness in case you need it. Now they're slightly different. I have videos that explain what the differences are and why you might care and also why you might not care, okay? But that's available via LUTs now, very, very simple. Okay, we have the chroma. Chroma is a huge thing that I talk about constantly, and we have 3 different ones. Now, chroma black, I'll tell you right now, it shows the chroma information, right? But everything is embedded in black. That is not nearly as useful as the other 2. I'm just gonna make that very, very clear, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. It's not nearly as useful as the other 2, but it can do some cool stuff, right? So chroma gray, of course, is kind of the main one. It's the easiest one to create because you only need a single layer, but we have it in a LUT no matter. And then chroma white, which takes a couple of different layers, and there it is. And if you followed anything that I've done here in the last couple of few years, you know that I use chroma a lot. Chroma information can be great for creating selections. It can be great for targeting just saturation. There's so many different reasons why chroma information could be important, especially when you're comparing chroma with Luma, right? So there's Luma, and you can pull those again, stamp them to new layer if you need raster-based versions of them. Even though we have actions that do that automatically, you never know what sort of technical reason you might need any of these. Now, I've included a bunch of others. I want to kind of review what those do. So let's go ahead and start with the blues on top. Actually, you know what? No, let's start with we're going to do the blues actually. So let's look at the top here. We have blues hue map on gray, blues hue map by itself with the actual color, blues luma map gray. That's going to be, instead of like a hard hue map which maximizes the saturation and brightness of every hue, then we're going to actually have a luminosity representation of the luminance energy of the blues. In other words, if I go here and choose that, you can kind of see that. It's very hard to see on this particular image. I'll zoom in a little bit, but you can see that the luminance energy of blues, there it is. And if you scroll back, you realize, or excuse me, if you turn off the layer, you'll realize that is the case. That blue right here is extremely muted, as is Ryan Pramik's edit. Now, if I go to Blue's Luma map by itself, then it actually shows you what the blue looks like. Again, very, very difficult to see. So let's go to something that's going to be a little easier to see. One thing that I've done is created also a blues plus cyan, because it's very, very common to need both. Just like down here, you'll see reds plus yellow. Again, very common to need both depending on what you're doing. Oh, actually, let me go back up a second, because see, on the Luma, showing the luminance energy of the blues, it's only just so subtle. But if you really want to see where all the blue hues are landing, that is where Blue's hue map on gray comes in. That's going to be a lot stronger, showing you where every single blue pixel within a certain range, usually it's 30 degrees up and down, within a certain range is showing up. This is what your blues are basically doing, okay? There's no point in targeting one specific hue angle, because you're going to get very strange sort of pixelated looking results. That is extremely micro detailed analysis, which usually isn't very purposeful. But in this case, you can see that we can look at the hue map directly. This is not the luminance energy, okay? This does not represent the luminance energy of the blue. It's just where the blues lie. And of course, you can also see it in blue. And who knows what we can do with that? You never know, right? Now, speaking of the let's go back actually. We have the blues plus cyan. Let's look at the blues and cyan's Luma map on gray. Okay, now we have the blues that were on the car, but we also have it in the sky, right? And if we put that together, it'll kind of fuse them together and show us what the blues and cyans look like in terms of their luminance energy. That's not just for analysis, but you can potentially do something with that layer, whether you leave it on the lookup table adjustment layer or flatten to a new layer to get pixels, like I said. Now, of course, there's also the hue map, blue and cyan's hue map, boom. And you might think, damn, that's a lot of blue and cyan. Well, let's look at the edit. There's a little bit of a color cast on here, very intentionally done by Ryan, and it has a blue sort of tone in the shadows. So let you know, blues and cyans exist in a lot of this image. That's a cool thing to see, right? Now we have all the other ones as well. So if I come here to like red Luma map, probably won't show a whole lot, but of course we're going to see the rear part of the car. Oh, that's glowing quite nicely. We can also see what it's looking like in just gray. Now, what's interesting about just gray, for example, if you look at this and go, cool, I need to select that. Well, you can hit Option Command or Alt Control 2, the number 2, and now you can select what you're looking at, and now you've selected the reds. There are other ways to do it, but hey, there we go. We have now a LUT that allows us to do that. Of course, we can see the hue map on red, and you can see where there's a lot of red in the image, of course. And like I mentioned before, we have reds and yellows. So here's the reds and yellows Luma map on gray. So we can kind of see what all of them are doing. Okay, we have a little bit of the barrel over here in the background, some of the grasses and everything else. So you can see, let's go ahead and go to yellow hue map, pure hue map of yellow. There it is. This is not Luma. This is a pure hue. So, okay, what do all these mean for you? You know, if you know what they mean, or if you think you have ideas for them, then this might be useful for you, especially things like chroma, especially things like the hue map, so you can do analysis, because a hue map is a great way to determine where you might target something, right? Like some of my actions do. You never know. Couple of things to tell you about why you might use this and why you might not. One, you have to play around and see and just experiment, because tools are tools and you never know what you can come up with. Second, learning about the color science as to why you might want this, why it might matter to you, that is a little bit more involved. And I'm not saying that there's just these absolutely direct step-by-step methods to do cool shit with these things. I'm not trying to say that, okay? But they exist because sometimes you need them. Now, here's the other thing that's kind of interesting. This hue map right here, right? Or chroma on white, or whatever the heck you want to do with it, all these LUTs can also be put into video. Yeah, so if you're using DaVinci, if you're using Final Cut, if you're using Premiere, you can put these into your video and you can get a hue map of your video if you wanted it. You can get pure luminosity of your video if you want it. You can run a video that strictly shows the blues and cyan luminosity, hue map on, and who knows what that will look like for your video. These things can be created manually, but we have these custom LUTs. So you can dump this into your video editor is what I'm saying, and who knows what you can come up with for corrective or creative reasons, right? So that's why these exist. They're not in and of themselves like, oh, this is the most amazing tool you've ever been waiting on. This is it for you. This is all you need. No. But they're really, really cool for utility purposes, not just in Photoshop, not just for your photos, but even on video. Now, if you have questions, and I'm going to imagine you do, please leave one down below in the comments or drop me an email, nbp@ninobatista.com, and we can kind of have that discussion. You never know what could be cool. You know, there's a Luma map on gray for the reds. Let's see what a hue map on red for the gray. There you go. Gray for the red looks like. So many different ways to analyze your image and see what's going on. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions below.